All right, everyone. Let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. And align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And so just imagine you're lengthening your spine, just putting some space in between the vertebrae. And then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there. And relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, back of the tongue. The jaw, and your ears and your inner ears. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. And then be aware of any distractions, any sounds in your environment. And just allowing it all to be there. Even the little notifications on your phone, your computer. I have to thank actually one of the people in the group. They're not here tonight, but pointed out to me that, it is a possibility that people might be using Facebook or checking emails during the meditation. I was a little surprised because I thought, wait, we only have 30 minutes to do this anyway. So that's why I've added it in, just in case people have these notifications coming through and you think somehow we have this idea that we've got to answer everything. So we just relax around all the notifications and try and stay focused. And then just check in with your mind this evening and see how you're doing this morning, middle of the day in Sydney, somewhere in early afternoon. So just allow all the thoughts to arise, to bubble up, and to abide. And just sort of let them all go. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, so our loved ones. We have these people in our life who we really love very dearly. Then there's our strangers, like I said, lots of traffic in here in this area. So many strangers I pass every day. And then there's all our, there's some people in life we don't like very much. And then think they're all equal, these people. No matter how we feel about any one particular person at any one particular time, and it does change. Because they all want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So just think. We'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically psychological. So we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past actions, our past karma. This is this kind of natural law. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. So we think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then we think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. So it's not that we need Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for a higher power. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, the left holding a bell, and this represents wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed like that, they represent enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have a little section here on developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and you just have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And so then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta mebova sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya. Vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's overflowing quite strongly. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutsa Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe, vajrasafa samaya manupalaya, vajrasafa dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the switch and the light instantly comes. So you imagine here the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, all the unhappiness and depression, anxiety, disappointment, guilt, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta me bhuva sawa siddhi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita. Dida me bhuva sitokaya me bhuva sipokaya me bhuva. Anurakta me bhuva sawa siddhi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of your body, speech, and mind. So we think that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, pushing out all the negativity of our body with the nectar, and then pushing up all the negativity of our speech with the nectar, and then blasting all of our delusions with light. And this is happening all at the same time. And then also at the same time, you're reciting the mantra. And in this way, you're eradicating completely even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anurakta mebowa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anurakta mebowa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anurakta mebowa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anurakta mebowa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anurakta mebowa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida mebowa, sitokaya mebowa, sipokaya mebowa, anurakta mebowa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's really crucial, this step, because you have to make a determination. You just have to decide, I want to refrain from harming. So just decide. This is really as simple as that. And then the plan comes into formulation. So you make a determination to refrain from harming with your body and your speech and your mind. And it might not be ever again, but maybe just break everything down, be humble, slowly, find something very simple that you can work on that you will have success in. Don't try and find the hardest, the worst habit that you have and try and stop that. Because our habit energies are very sneaky and they tend to be a little bit more overpowering than our actual mind. So this is why we bring all of our delusions to mind at the beginning, because if you're not aware of what it is that's going on in your mind, you're not aware of the delusions that you have, it's very hard to break those habit energies. Those are habits from lifetimes, very hard to decipher. So you start with something simple, so kind of picking at it, pulling it apart, getting rid of it, moving on to the next one. So rejoice that, then think of something that you'd like to work on. And then imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So now let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. The foremost master of imparting Dharma, who shows the meaning of the fourfold seal, the most revered amongst all living beings, engaged in going forth on all three paths. With glory purified by ultimate truth, most fortunate within the threefold world, the celebrated source of all endowments, supreme among the glorious Manjushri. Chapter 11, Praise for the Wisdom of the Five Tathagatas. Homage to you, boon granter best of Vajras, O summit of existence, homage to you. Homage to you, whose source is emptiness, O Buddha's awakening, homage to you. Okay, everybody, lots of love, sweet dreams. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift discovery and brought back of precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche with his new family. And then think of all of your own individual teachers and just strong wish for them to live long. So, because who are we going to turn to? Anyway, lots of love. Good night, and I will see some of you tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for hosting, Shayla.